Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's very special broadcast. As you know, Mr. Valiant loves to talk about different fictional and real characters. And tonight, well, he wanted to do something a little special. He wanted to take the time to pay homage to some of those characters who've had a bit more of a personal impact on him. So tonight, we are launching the first ever Wall of Fame Inductions by Valiant Bradley James, 2019. Yes, tonight we will be talking about different characters, both real and fictional. So please put your hands together for tonight's host, Mr. Valiant Bradley James. Cool. Hey guys, welcome to the show, which is the Wall of Fame Inductions for 2019. The inaugural, the first, the original, my own cool award show, because, let's be real here, probably not going to get to host an award show unless I make my own. So yeah, I get to be a cool big guy for a day, and then hopefully another day next year, unless Patrick steps in and replaces me, but whatever. Tonight is my night to talk about cool special characters. You know, honestly, this started as, just a funny little idea, and I want to make this a bit bigger, because I just like certain characters, and I wanted to do something cool to pay my respects to them. So, tonight we are going to be handing out some, well, we'll be handing out awards and putting pictures up on the wall, because that's how I feel like commemorating those unique original characters. And tonight there are going to be several categories to choose from. First off, we have a past character. This can be any character that I've talked about in the past, from last year, last 5 years. Heck, we're going on 10 years of me doing this stuff. Though, to be fair, as the character investigator, it's like 2 or 3, but whatever. Next, we'll have a future character. A character that I will be talking about here, now, in 2019. Yes, it's going to be a special preview for you guys. Next up, we have a couple of wild cards. Basically, these are just... these are two characters, one real and one fictional, that I want to talk about. The big stipulation, though, for me personally, is that the real person has to have, unfortunately, passed on. Or be from, like, way back in the day. As for the fictional character, I would say that their story has to have concluded as well. I don't want to talk about somebody whose story is still ongoing, because it's a bit awkward in case, new big stuff comes up or something from the past comes back to haunt them. In the fifth category, I will be talking about, basically one YouTuber that I really like that's really influenced me. As you guys may have noticed, I have a lot of playlists for, oh hey, I like this show, and I like that show, and I like this stuff, and music, and all that. And, I just wanted to take some time to pay respect to some of the YouTubers that I follow and pay attention to, because they've really influenced me making my show, making this series, and addressing you guys. So I want to give credit where credit is due. And finally, there's a sixth category. Basically, I figure every year there are going to be certain characters that have done something monumental, something interesting, that I want to address per that year. This can include, oh hey, they did something big that year, or unfortunately this person has passed away that year. And, I want to timestamp them and let them know, hey, you may be gone, but you're not forgotten. Even though you left us within the last year. So, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to business. Alright everyone, let's talk about the first category. Because this is the original special of the Wall of Fame, I wanted to pick my own original character. A person who started something so grand, so big, they couldn't have even imagined it themselves. So big that it's actually been going on for 50 plus years at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk to you just a bit about the man, the myth, the legend, the original Doctor, William Hartnell. Now, you may remember I did talk about, I've been doing the Doctor Who series for some time. I started with Obviously, the original classic series, and I've been working my way forward. Currently, we're through 2 Doctors out of currently 13. 14 counting the War Doctor, John Hurt. And yeah, I've got a long ways to go. And honestly, I wanted to put Hartnell up on the wall because, like I said, he started something big, something special with Doctor Who. Like, no one could have foreseen, hey, 50 plus years later, we're going to be talking about the 13th Doctor. Like, it's crazy, it's fun, it's interesting, I love it, and I think Mr. Hartnell was a great starting point for the Doctor. And moving forward, from what I've seen so far of Patrick Troughton as well as Jonathan Pertwee, I'm liking what I'm seeing for the growth of the Doctor as well as the series. So, of course, Mr. Hartnell, you're going up on the wall because you've earned it. So, moving on next to a future character in the second award. Moving on to category 2. Alright, next up, because we've talked about a blast from the past, let's talk about a future character. A character that I haven't even discussed yet on this channel, show, series, whatever you want to call it. This is a character that has been, in my heart for a long time. Honestly, he was part of one of the very first animes that I ever watched from beginning to end. Quick question. How many of you know the series Gurren Lagann? Or have heard the phrase, your drill will pierce the heavens. And of course the infamous phrase, believe in the me that believes in you. I, of course, am talking about the one of the main characters of the series, Kamina. Like, honestly, if you know the series, well, if you know me, you probably get why I love Kamina so much. Basically, one of my big things that I think I've shown here is that I'm very big about Brotherhood. Some other animes that I've really enjoyed, One Piece, Full Metal Alchemist, they have Brotherhood as, well, at least One Piece doesn't have it as central, but it's kind of a big deal in the series. And honestly, like, the relationship between Kamina and Simon, or Simone as you want to call him, was so impactful for me that I just had to put him on the wall. I love the character so much, and I can't wait to talk about him. Now, if you know the series, don't spoil anything. I already know, but for sure, Kamina definitely earned his spot on the wall. So now, moving forward into the third category, the Wildcard. First up, a real person. Okay, everyone, welcome to category number 3. A real person. Basically, this character, again, has meant a lot to me. And somehow made it through, oddly enough, like William Hartnell, 50 plus years of, 50 plus years. Starting big for me, personally, in the 1960s with the Batman series, and going all the way to the 2010s with Family Guy, I would love to introduce Adam West. Yeah, that's right. The original, well, for me anyway, live-action Batman who started in the 1960s, kind of cheesy live-action show, Batman. Like, I don't know what to say. I just really liked Mr. West. He played Bruce Wayne and Batman, seriously, even though he was saying some pretty funny, ridiculous stuff. He played it totally deadpan. And you have to remember, this was like the Silver Age of comics, where the comics were going away from being like all bloody and serious and being more like kooky, zany, like, oh no, the Joker's going to pull a big trick on the whole city or whatever. And I think they did this very well. And honestly, without this good live action interpretation, I'm not sure if we would have had, Batman, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. Okay, actually, I'm kind of regretting that last one. But then ultimately, Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and maybe not as satisfying, but Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I guess maybe we would have had them eventually, but Adam West playing Batman for real, in person, on TV, made Batman more mainstream. He took him from the comics, being an animated character, to real life. That must have helped so much. And, I want to pay my respect to Mr. West for doing that. It's a very daunting task, and I think he handled it well, and I'm glad he did, because he's a great guy. I love the research I did on him, and I'm sad to say that he is gone. And now, moving on to the next wild card, the fictional character. Moving on to category number 4, a fictional character of my choosing. Basically, for this, he's a character from a series that I've talked a lot about, and, so he may sound a bit familiar to you. And if you go to my YouTube page, his video is one of the first ones that you will probably see on the page. I, of course, am talking about one of the great characters from the Ratchet & Clank series. Starting back in 2002, going all the way up to 2016, with the reboot. I am talking about Captain Copernicus Quark. Now, really quick, before I get a lot of questions and hahs and whys, I just have to say I like his story arc for Up Your Arsenal. Really quick, if you don't know Captain Quark, he was kind of a big, Buck Rogers, galaxy-saving hero type back in the day, like before the beginning of Ratchet & Clank. He was famous and he saved the galaxy and he was a hero and everybody loved him. But once Ratchet & Clank starts, he's kind of washed up, over the hill. They're showing old reruns of his stuff. He's doing bad ads for, small-time shops. It's kind of ridiculous. And unfortunately, he's working with a very bad guy, Chairman Drek, who's basically tearing planets apart to make a perfect planet for his people because their home planet has become too polluted. Now, unfortunately, Captain Quark is stopped from aiding Chairman Drek, but it doesn't seem like Quark learned his lesson when in Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, the second game. He forms his own evil plan to become famous and and sit on top and be the king once again. However, Ratchet & Clank step forward and foil him once more. So finally, we get to Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. Quark's pretty much just done as a person. Like, he's dropped off the face of the map. And he has a very interesting story. Because Captain Quark is the only person known to have faced and defeated the worst villain of the galaxy, a man known as Dr. Nefarious, whose current plan is to roboticize the entire galaxy. That's where he turned people from organic beings, like, dogs, cats, people, into robots. And Quark has an interesting arc, starting out forming the Q-Force, the, like, Power Rangers, the, Jedi Order, the whatever, that is meant to face off against, Nefarious and his evil minions. To, running away and hiding because, the task is too overwhelming for him. But in the end, coming back, and helping out. Because of the words of Ratchet & Clank. Ratchet's just totally disappointed that he looked up to Quark at one point, and Clank, can see past the super suit, past, the odd long johns that have a face mask, to the heart of Quark, and can tell that he's a good guy who has what it takes to be a hero and can do good things and can inspire hope in people. And, it just... Redemption story arcs really touch a chord with me, because I've got some personal issues, I'm going to be honest with you. And that's why I love Captain Quark, and that's why I want to put him up on the wall. He was a guy who did good things, kind of got mixed up with the dark side, but did get his chance at redemption, to do the right thing, to save the people, to be a hero and inspire hope, and, I love him for that. Sorry. So now, with that out of the way, let's move on to my next category, the Inspirational YouTuber. Alright everyone, now that I've talked about, real and fictional characters that I really gravitated towards, let's talk about you know, YouTube, the platform itself, the platform that really inspired me to make my own videos, to start, you know, things like Not Really News, Losers at Love, Cosplay Enthusiast, and finally, the Character Investigator. You know, if you look through my channel, you may see that I've got a lot of playlists, basically for like, oh hey, stuff from this channel that I like, or stuff from that channel that I like, or music, or just random awesomeness. Not even kidding, that is a real thing. But, you know, I got onto YouTube because I saw different YouTubers and I got inspired by them, and I was like, yes, I want to be like, you know, the Nostalgia Critic, the AVGN, JonTron, Spoonie, just so many others. And so every year I want to take a moment and just pay some special tribute to at least one YouTube channel per year. Even though these guys are probably much bigger than me and don't really need the hype and the appreciation from one small dude. But hey, you know, maybe my nice words will push them forward and help inspire them to keep going. So, for this inaugural video, who am I choosing? Patrick H. Willems. My brother Patrick... Wait. Patrick Willems. Patrick O. Okay, whatever. Yeah, he introduced me to the channel. Basically, he does, at this point, a fair amount of video essays on different subjects. You know, talking about movies and... Okay, I can't remember all the subject matter, but I just really like his video essays, and clearly I'm doing a lot of video essays myself. Maybe not as effectively as he does it, but hey, you know, we all gotta start somewhere. And I just really like his channel. I like what I've seen. You know, he's done some short film things, he does the video essays. He's just a good person for me to look at and follow and get ideas from and to look up to as a role model. So, Mr. Willems, you probably will never know my name, but I, Valiant Bradley James, love your work. Please keep it up. And because you are so cool, in my opinion, I'm going to put a picture of you up on my wall. So, yeah, thank you for everything. Alright everyone, now that I've gone through all the main categories, let's go to the final, the special category. Basically every year there are certainly going to be different characters who do something big or monumental that I want to address. And this year, well, looking back at 2018, I have one major character that I really need to talk about. As some of you may know, November 12th, 2018, Stan Lee, one of the biggest names in comics, passed away at the age of 94, 95. And honestly, that just hurts, like, for real. You know, we've lost a fair amount of big names and awesome characters over the years, but Stan Lee created so much. You know, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Hulk, just so much. He helped craft an entire universe, you know, to inspire kids to do good and be better and, you know, fight against injustice and care for those in need, and just, oh my god, like, I'm certainly not going to be able to do him justice here and now, but I did want to at least say something and make sure that he will forever at least have, you know, a spot in history up on my wall, because he's earned it more than anything. And I'm sure, you know, other people will keep him in their memories, but I want to do this for him as well as for myself. You know, like I talked about before with inspirational YouTubers, he's just an inspirational person and definitely someone to look up to, and that's why I'm going to add him to the wall. And I think that wraps up the very first episode of the Wall of Fame. You know, hopefully this gets some buzz, and maybe next year there are going to be some big names who are like clamoring to get onto the wall. Don't worry, folks, I have plenty of wall space. And, you know, even if in like 10, 15, 20 years I don't have enough wall space to keep it outside of my little studio area, we'll figure something out. We'll double people up. We'll make it work. Because there are just so many great characters I want to talk about. real, fictional, YouTube, whatever. And, you know, the Wall of Fame is a cool way for me to pay respect to those people. And really quick, because we're here at the end, I would like to also pay some special tribute to the guys at Welcome to the Basement from Blame Society Films. Basically, I have a playlist, you know, of different Welcome to the Basement episodes that I liked. And I got the idea from their, you know, Hall of Fame. Basically, they just pick different actors and different things from the movies that they've watched over the year, and they go, hey, I want to put them in the Hall of Fame because they're cool or interesting or funny. And so I'm borrowing their idea and using my wall for it. So, you know, Matt Sloan, Craig Johnson, if you guys see this, you know, thank you for doing your awesome work on the Chad Vader series, as well as Welcome to the Basement. You know, I've watched a lot of the episodes. I really like it. I think I'm somewhere in season 3 or 4 at the moment, but I'm going to catch up, and I'll watch everything and just keep doing what you guys are doing. It's awesome. I love it. One day I will become, you know, a donator to you guys. So maybe you'll say my name, and that would be cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I will close with my classic line. Have fun, stay safe, keep hydrated, and of course remember, every character has a story to tell. I'm Valiant Bradley James, character investigator, and first-time awards show host. Really flub that. Edit in post, Brad. Or don't, because you're mean. Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more awesome, fun videos coming down the pipeline, like Doctor Who next month, and the start of the 7th season and the 3rd Doctor.